Have you ever wondered why the loudest people in the room seem so certain, so bold, yet something about them feels hollow? Why the ones who shout the most often seem to be the most fragile when truly challenged? There is an unsettling truth buried deep within human nature, one we are conditioned to overlook. The reality is this: true confidence is quiet. It is silent. It does not parade itself, because it doesn't need to. And those who are loud, those who constantly seek validation and attention, are not the strong ones. They are, in fact, often the most insecure. This is a lesson that stretches back through the centuries, whispered by ancient philosophers, later dissected by modern psychology, yet still ignored by most. But why? In ancient philosophy, particularly among the Stoics, silence was seen as strength. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." True power for the Stoics was not in displays or performances, it was in action, in restraint. They believed the man who spoke the least often possessed the most inner mastery. Seneca warned about those who bragged about their wealth or accomplishments. He called it a sickness of the mind. Epictetus, once a slave who became a great philosopher, said, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." The loud, boastful man is blind to himself, because all noise is an attempt to cover something up. Modern psychology agrees what we now call overcompensation is not new. Psychologists explain it through the lens of insecurity. When someone feels deep inadequacy, they compensate by displaying exaggerated confidence. They buy flashy cars, they dominate conversations, they post endlessly on social media. But beneath the surface, their confidence is brittle. It shatters easily, because it was never confidence to begin with. It was armor, temporary, flimsy, designed only to protect a wounded ego. Studies show that people who are truly secure in themselves tend to be less reactive, less loud, less obsessed with proving their worth. Their validation is internal. In today's world, however, this truth is reversed. We live in an era where performance is everything. Social media amplifies the voices of those who shout the loudest. It rewards the dramatic, the bold, the extreme. And people confuse this volume with actual strength. They see followers and likes and assume this is what success looks like. They see viral videos of outbursts and egos and mistake them for power. But deep down, we all know the truth. These displays are exhausting to maintain. They are unsustainable because they are not rooted in anything real. Nietzsche, in his Cold Brilliance, once wrote, "The higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly." True confidence, like true greatness, is invisible to the masses because it is not concerned with being seen. It exists independent of external recognition. The truly powerful do not explain themselves. They do not seek approval. They simply are. And this terrifies people because most of society is built upon the illusion of power, the illusion of certainty. People want noise. They crave distraction because silence forces them to confront what they lack. Think of the strongest people you know, the ones who walk into a room and shift the atmosphere without saying a word, the ones who listen more than they speak. They are calm, collected, rooted. They don't need to prove anything because they are not trying to escape themselves. This is true confidence, and it is rare because it requires something most people will never have: the willingness to be alone with their thoughts, to face their fears without hiding behind noise, to accept themselves without needing the approval of others. There is a reason ancient monasteries valued silence, a reason why great thinkers often spent long periods in solitude. Silence is not emptiness, it is clarity. It reveals what is hidden, but it is also terrifying, because in the silence there is no one to impress, no audience to applaud, only the self. And most people spend their entire lives running from that encounter. The loud are not powerful, they are afraid of being ignored, afraid of being forgotten, afraid of facing the void within themselves. Their noise is a mask, their ego a fragile defense. They may appear confident, but they are prisoners of their own insecurity. True confidence is something else entirely. It is not aggressive. It does not seek conflict. It does not demand attention. It simply exists, and those who possess it have no need to announce it. Because confidence that must be seen is not confidence at all. It is merely the illusion of it. In the end, it is a paradox. The most confident person is often the one you never notice, the one who speaks softly, the one who carries themselves with quiet dignity, because they know true power never needs to shout. It whispers. Part 2. The weight of silence. The moment a person begins to embrace silence, they step onto a path few dare to follow. Silence demands something from us that noise never will: honesty. In a world obsessed with noise, choosing silence becomes an act of rebellion. Not the loud rebellion of protests and slogans, but the quiet, unwavering rebellion of those who refuse to be controlled by external forces. Silence asks uncomfortable questions. Who are you without the opinions of others? What remains when there is no audience to applaud? What happens when you can no longer hide behind distractions? The answers are rarely pleasant. In that stillness, many discover they are not who they thought they were. They discover insecurities buried beneath layers of performance. They find unresolved fears, regrets, and hidden shame. Silence is the mirror that never lies, and it is merciless. This is why so many people avoid it. They stay busy, they chase attention, they fill their days with endless consumption, not because they crave connection, but because they fear what silence will reveal. They drown in noise because it is easier than facing themselves. But for those who persist, something remarkable happens. Beyond the discomfort lies freedom. The kind of freedom that cannot be granted by others, the freedom of knowing exactly who you are, independent of praise or criticism. This is the heart of true confidence, not arrogance, not bravado, but quiet, unshakable certainty. A certainty born from knowing yourself intimately, with all your flaws, your failures, your darkness, and accepting it fully. In ancient Zen teachings, the concept of no mind, or mushin, describes a state where the mind is free from fear, distraction, and doubt. It is not emptiness in the negative sense, it is clarity, stillness, presence. This state cannot be reached through noise, it cannot be taught by words alone, it can only emerge in silence. It is the ultimate confidence, because it is beyond words, beyond appearances, beyond ego. Most will never find it, because most are not willing to endure the process. Silence strips away everything superficial. It dismantles illusions. It exposes your core. And this exposure feels like death to the ego. But those who endure come to understand something profound. They are not their thoughts. They are not their fears. They are not their public image. They are simply aware. And that awareness is unshakable. It cannot be broken by rejection. It cannot be inflated by praise. It is immune to the world's noise. And this is why the most confident people are often invisible. They do not seek attention because they have nothing to prove. They are not interested in convincing others. They know that anyone who seeks truth must walk their own path. They offer no shortcuts, no easy answers, only their presence, silent, calm, unmoved. And this presence, without a single word, speaks volumes. It says, I have met myself in the silence. And I am no longer afraid. The world misunderstands this. It will always mistake noise for power. It will continue to reward the loud, the dramatic, the bold. But beneath all the noise, a quieter reality endures, a hidden current beneath the surface. Those who have embraced silence walk among us, unseen, unimpressed, untouched. Their lives are not measured by followers or fame. They are measured by depth, by clarity, by freedom. The freedom to exist without permission. The freedom to walk away from anything that no longer serves their growth. In the end, confidence is not about dominating others. It is not about winning arguments or gaining applause. It is about dominion over oneself, the quiet mastery of your own mind, the ability to sit in stillness and know you are enough, without noise, without audience, without illusion. This is the truth that the world fears. And this is why true confidence will always be silent, because it needs nothing, and needs nothing said.